Hey, it's falln again, this time here to talk about Dreamhack Austin. Now you may be asking yourself, well falln, Smash and Splash was the same weekend. Why are you talking about Dreamhack Austin and not that? And the simple answer is I was at Dreamhack Austin and I was not at Smash and Splash. As far as I'm concerned, we're actually fairly lucky that Dreamhack is willing to continue to host Smash at their events, as well as throw like 10k pop bonuses in for both Smash Wii U and for Melee, and it is good to support them and try and show them that it's still worthwhile. It is unfortunate that a lot of the times Dreamhack ends up overlapping with some other event like Smash and Splash in this case, but when you consider that Dreamhack is running all these other games and Smash is more of an add-on, there's not really much you can do. And this happens a couple times when outside orgs bring in a lot of money for Smash. You're put in a situation where you either go with the grassroots or you appeal to the big esports people. But I am glad that both events were doing pretty well, because I think there's a balance that we have to be able to walk there. There wasn't much of a narrative going into Dreamhack Austin, I think, because most of the storied top players went over to Smash and Splash. They could have made it a thing with can Lima defend his home region, because he was the first seed and it is being held in Texas, but I don't think anyone really went in that direction. And the event itself was incredibly top heavy. We had the first 9 seeds all PGR players, and then we had Carnot Eon, and then after that there was basically only the other Texas talent. And we didn't see upsets in any of the pools except for Lima versus DJ Flip Hop, which might I say is maybe one of the ugliest sets I have ever seen. Lima started game 1 with Peach, he SDs his first stock, and then he side Bs low his second stock and dies off of that. And then he takes the next 2 with Bayo, and then game 4 he SDs while planking, he uses too many resources, and then he SDs again, overcommitting for a edge guard. And then game 5, he SDs again in a combo, and then it gets to a game 5 last hit situation, and then DJ Flip Hop goes for the Hail Mary barrel technician, and it actually catches Lima in one of the dumbest sets I've seen in my entire life. In top 24, in terms of upsets, there was only Eon dropping to Magister the Charizard, and Karna losing to Light the Lantern, who then went on to get top 8 by sweeping DJ Flip Hop. Top 8 is where things started to get interesting. We had Esam make it to winners finals over Samsora, and then we had Esam versus Larry winners finals, and those two always make an entertaining set, because Pikachu is one of those characters that can really combo Fox when he gets any opening, and then Fox is OP, so he can do the exact same thing to Pikachu. And Esam took it fairly convincingly, especially the game 4, where he basically zero-deaths Larry at the very end in a really impressive string. Meanwhile, Anti crawled his way through top 8, going through a roulette of characters. He beat Lima with Mario, and then he pulled out the Zero Suit for Conga, and then he alternated between Cloud and Mario for MVD, which also blessed us with this finishing touch, before falling to Larry in a Game 5 situation in Losers Finals. Then we get Esam vs. Larry in an intense Game 5 Grand Finals. At the end, Larry catches Esam in an awkward position when Esam's off stage and he's getting up-tilted by Fox, and then Larry reads an air dodge and commits for the fair footstool and gets it, so we get a bracket reset, and then we go into another tense Game 5 situation where Larry is a little bit more ahead now, and then he finds the dare confirm into the up smash. The whole Grand Finals was actually reminiscent of Dreamhack Montreal, where Larry and Esam were also in the finals, and Larry was coming from loser side, and essentially the same thing happened, where it went to a game 10 and Larry ekes it out, and Esam always does so well at these events, but doesn't quite win. So retroactively, there's a bit of a narrative to be told there, which is a nice ending. And of course, massive props to Larry for always having that composure and clutch factor, which really sets him apart as a top player. Pivoting back to the event itself, everything has to be contextualized with the fact that we are, in essence, just a side event for the overall Dreamhack. So all the setups are kind of crammed into a corner, while the main convention space is used for PUBG and the other games. and then we're also sharing a stream between Melee and Wii U. And there isn't really much I can like criticize about that. Obviously, for like the best Smash experience, you're not getting it from Dreamhack, but it's also a side event, you know, and you are ideally there for the full esports experience and not just for Smash. So you can't really dock for that, even though it is kind of lame to play in these really crowded areas. I do think at the very least they probably could have spaced out the setup tables a little bit better, because when you were playing off stream, which was happening most of the time because it was one stream between two games, you get these huge crowds of people behind you just because there was like nowhere else to stand, and you'd have people bumping on your chair all the time, and the setups were without audio, so it was kind of hard to really stay focused on the set. And you know, that will sound like John's, of course, but in terms of a tournament experience, it's not nice having to play pools like that. Also, so the pools were split into Wave A and Wave B, and Wave A is when Wii U had the stream, and Wave B is when Melee had the stream. And in my opinion, it seemed like most of the hype matches, like myself versus Karna, Eon versus Anti, Zenny versus Konga, those were all in Wave B. And I think if there was a little bit more coordination between Dreamhack, the people who seeded Wii U and the people who seeded Melee, you might have been able to get more quality pools matches overall by saying, hey, like, these are the closer seeds, let's put them on the same block where the stream is being held. Because Wave A had mostly sets that should have been blowouts. Like, obviously we did get the Lima versus DJ Flip Hop on stream, but that was because Lima was trolling, so I just think if we were trying to optimize it, you probably could have had the closer, more even sets being held during the time when the game had the stream. But obviously you are going to be given times from the Dreamhack operator, and then the Wii U and the Melee TOs are going to be separate, so it would have taken some gumption, I guess, from one of them or all of them to coordinate in such a way. As far as scheduling, after that they played all the way to top 8 for Saturday, and then top 8 Sunday was its own thing, and that's that's always nice because, you know, you have the whole day to really go around and explore the other games and the booths and the art and the shops and the, you know, the other stuff to do at Dreamhack, or even just the city itself. So that's no problem. Although if you were in a Wave B pool, you didn't have a break between Wave B and top 24. But even then, it's not a big deal. They also had these fun, like, hamster balls. As a kid, I always wanted to get in one of those. You know, the things where you jump in and then you have the giant, you know, thing around you and you just kind of bump into people. They had that at the end of the convention space, and I regret never actually getting in one of them, but it looked like a lot of fun. And it's just kind of a goofy thing to have at a tournament, but it was there. Overall, I give Dreamhack Austin an 8.5 out of 10. I am being a little bit more lenient for this event because it is lower tiered and it is a side event for Dreamhack overall, so it can't really be treated the same way as you would a Smash-centric event or as something that purports itself to be like an S tier or an A tier. So on that note, I am more lenient on, you know, things being rushed, not having the stream as much as you would want, things like that. Basic logistics, like how close the setups were to each other or not having sound on any of the setups, those are pretty easy to fix regardless of how big the event is. So, you know, that's still not the best, but, you know, everything else was run fine. Dreamhack is always a lot of fun to be at. That was actually my second Dreamhack. I also went to Atlanta last year, and it's just a great experience, and if you're into esports, you should definitely go. It's really fun, even if it's other games that you might not even follow. If you can allow yourself to like just get into the vibe of it, it's really fun to just feel the excitement that other communities have for their games, and it just makes you feel good about the direction esports is going as a whole. So I'm a big fan of Dreamhack, and I appreciate again that they're willing to keep throwing Smash into their events, so I do like supporting them while I can. If you are looking for the best, most pure Smash experience, then Smash and Splash would have been the better option, almost definitely. But hey, different events, different, expectations. But that will do it from me this time. And next on the list will be E3, which I am beyond excited for. So I'll see you all later.